In this video, I'm going to talk about RDP Settings Profiles, which is a new function we've introduced in the 4.6 release of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise. So historically, when creating RDP settings, they've had to be created on a per host pool basis. So from the properties page, an administrator would select custom RDP and create a set of custom settings, whether these be common settings or the full set of settings which are available for RDP configuration. And this had to be done on a case-by-case basis, which can be quite labor intensive if you've got a lot of host pools in your environment. And we've had some feedback from customers that we'd like to be able to set this at a global level. So in Nerdio Manager 4.6, we've included the option for RDP Settings Profiles under the Integrations tab. When you create a new RDP Settings profile, it becomes the default setting in the environment and will apply to all new host pools that you create. You can change this on a per host pool basis by selecting a drop down when you create the host pool, and I'll show that process in a second. So to create a profile, we simply click Add, give it a configuration name, good a name as any, specify our common settings, and if we would like to configure some of the more advanced settings for this environment, we can select all settings. And in the new NME 4.6 release, we've consolidated advanced settings into a single dashboard. Previously, this was a separate page which you drop into. Simplified this, made the UI slightly more user-friendly to configure. We can search for a setting, so search for targeted AAD joined, set my configuration to 1, check if that is correct. Yes, 0 is disabled, 1's enabled, and click OK. If I click back into my example settings, I can see that that's been retained. So we have a default setting and an example new setting. We can edit the settings simply by clicking into the environment, into the link here. We can set this as our default RDP settings profile if we'd like this to be assigned to new host pools when created. But we can go and make changes to the host pools directly. So if I select my host pool, properties, you'll see now that under our custom RDP option, as well as using a custom setting, so bespoke to this pool, we can specify one of our existing settings. And if chosen, then changes to the settings profile at the global level will propagate to the pool. So if I make changes at the global level to my RDP settings profile, it will propagate to all pools to which that is linked. If you wish to move away from synchronizing with these global settings, you can change your pool to custom, and it will retain the settings that were set up to that point. So the settings that were configured in this example policy profile will be retained if I change to custom. Similarly, when creating a new host pool, we can select just under our FS Logic settings an RDP configuration. And you can see by default, we have the default setting. If I'd like to choose my example setting instead, this can be selected, and this will propagate to all hosts within the host pool as and when they're created. I hope this video has been useful. Thank you for your time, and we will see you again.